Good morning, dear students. Today we will going to roll down the production of some biologically derived products like human insulin, interferons, and somatotropin. As far as the production of these biologically derived products are concerned, the biological activity of these products depends upon some sort of factors. First is choice of your host, type of host cell, characters of host cell substrates, and recombinant culture. As far as recombinant protein and their applications are concerned, you will going to see there are the different types of the proteins and the peptides that has been produced by different types of the techniques so far with respect to the treatment of different types of the diseases in as far as the different types of the diseases are concerned. Here first is your human insulin, which is really useful for the diabetes mellitus. Then interferons, which are going to be useful for treatment of hepatitis, cancer, hairy cell leukemia, then genital warts, then tissue plasminogen activators, which are really going to useful for the coronary thrombolysis, that is which acts as an anticoagulant, erythropoietin, which also acts as an different types of the for the treatment of different types of the diseases like anemia, which is associated with the renal failure, granulocyte colony stimulating factor, that is GCSF, which is really useful for the treatment of bone marrow transplantation, then human growth hormone, which also useful for the treatment of pituitary dwarfism, DNase, which is also useful for the cystic fibrosis, tumor necrosis factor, which is useful for the cancer treatment, then interleukins 1 to 3, which is useful for the immune disorder and the tumors. These are the different types of the proteins and the peptides which has been produced with the help of recombinant DNA technology, and there are the different types of the applications of these wide range of these protein and the peptides are concerned. As far as the human insulin is concerned, we know better as far as the insulin production is concerned. Insulin, which is really made up of by the pancreatic beta cells, which enables cells to take up the glucose from the bloodstream to use in the production of ATP. Insufficient insulin causes the diabetes, insulin, that is insulin dependent diabetes mellitus, that is IDDM, which having some sort of the complications there in the disease, like most must inject the insulin to avoid the physiological complications. Second is your cells cannot take up the glucose, and third is your insufficient ATP is made, and last is your glucose spills into urine, which is excreted by the kidney tries to dilute this glucose by excreting the large amount of water. So this is nothing but some sort of the complications related with this diabetes mellitus, and so that's why with the help of these recombinant DNA technology we are able here to produce the different types of the insulin factors, intermediates, and so many things. As far as the introduction is concerned, here we are able to see the two polypeptide chain, which is consist of, that is A and B, which respectively consist of 21 amino acid which is present in A chain, and in case of B chain there is a 30 amino acids are present, which has this A chain and B chain has linked via disulfide bonds. Thereafter the insulin chain, that is A and B, which is derived from the pre-pro insulin, which is really excreted from the beta cells, which consist of totally 109 amino acids. When we'll elaborate this kind of the production, that is pre-pro insulin, which consists of at initial level the 109 amino acids, when we are supposed to exclude or remove the 23 amino acids from these out of 109 amino acids, then we'll get the pro insulin, which is consist of 86 amino acid. Out of these 86 amino acid from the proinsulin, when we are excluding the 35 amino acids with the help of endopeptidase, then finally we'll get the insulin, which is at last the 51 amino acids, which is totally consist of out of these 109 amino acids. Okay, so that is at last you will get the insulin here. So here we are able to see the preparation of insulin with the help of recombinant DNA technology. So here we are able to see the two chain, that is chain A and chain B. Chain A which consists of different types of the gene, and chain B which consists of the gene, that is ATG and TGA. So these are the different types of the restriction endonucleases like enzymes we have to take here. Apart from these, the plasmid as a vector we have to select here. The name of the vector is PBR322 plasmids, okay, which consist of beta gal gene here. Okay, so when we are supposed to combine these PBR322 plasmids with respect to this chain A and chain B, so respectively we'll get the chain A along with this plasmid PBR322, and chain B along with the PBR322 plasmids, which consist of the beta gal gene. Okay, so as far as these A chain is A chain is here, we are able to see the some sort of beta galactan that is which is obtained from this plasmid, which has combined with this chain A. Apart from that chain A, simultaneously for the chain B also the beta gal gene we are able to see here. So that is nothing but the plasmid and the combination of the appropriate gene. Okay, so for chain A as well as chain B. So here we are able to see the chain A which consists of the gene, exact gene, or you can say the desired gene, along with the some fragment, desired fragment of the plasmid, that is PBR322, which consists of which is called as recombinant plasma, the recombinant plasmids containing A chain, and respectively recombinant plasmids containing B chain also. Okay, so simultaneously here we are our recombinant gene, that is recombinant DNA is ready. So individually that chain A and chain B we have to insert into these appropriate host cell. So we have to transport these RNA recombinant DNA into the appropriate E. coli as a host for the appropriate growth, and simultaneously that recombinant DNA, that is B, which have to also transferred into the E. coli for the proper growth. Okay, so at individual level it is also going to produce its own protein expression. So as far as the last stage is concerned, that is which produce the more cells and purify the beta gal protein by the cell disruption as well as the lysis. So with respect to the cell disruption here, as far as the host cell mechanism is concerned, here your cells is gonna purify here by means of some disruption as well as the lysis, and after all by cleavage with the cyanogen bromide, the different types of the A chain and the B chain simultaneously you will get here. But at last, with respect to the sulfonation reaction, which consists of the sodium sulfate has played an important role as far as the cleavage of this chain with respect to the cyanogen bromide is concerned. That mechanism is called as the sulfonation. So here with respect to these oxidations we are able to see here at last the insulin is gonna produced. Next is your interferons. Interferons, we know that Edwin Chargaff is the renowned scientist. He stated from the conviction that different DNA species exhibited different biological activities. These should also exist chemically demonstrable differences between the deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay, so this is all about the interferons. We know that interferons, there are the different types of the sequences are there by means of DNA sequencing, that is. So Maxim Gilbert method is also there, then Sanger sequencing method, which was invented in the year of somehow 1977. So that are also useful for the production of it. But before than that factor, the interferons has been produced with the help of the recombinant DNA technology in the year of somehow in the year of 1957 by Isaac and Jean Linderman. So discovered a glycoprotein naturally produced by the cell called as interferons. It is a set of small proteins which are secreted by cells in response to the viral infections. Human interferons actually consist of 145 amino acids long and which having the molecular weight around 20,000 to 30,000 Daltons. So as far as the types of the interferon is concerned, on the basis of physicochemical and the antigenic property, it has bifurcated into the three different types of the interferon, that is alpha interferon, which is also called as leukocyte, beta interferon, which is also called as fibroblast, and at last gamma interferons, which is also called as immune interferons. So these are nothing but the agenda related with the interferons. As far as the mechanism of action is concerned, mainly it may inhibit the viral replication, that which acts as an antiviral and protect the cell from other intercellular parasite, which also activate the natural killer cells and the macrophages, which stimulates the beta cell and which increases the cell resistance to many microbial infections, and at last useful in hepatitis B, cancer and other viral diseases. As far as the production of these interferons by the recombinant DNA technology is concerned, so here first of all we'll have to see the DNA sequencing coding will have to take the help of this DNA sequencing method, wherein we know that the Edwin Jargoff has started the convictions that the different DNA species exhibited the different biological activities. These should also exist chemically demonstrable differences between the deoxyribonucleic acid. So that is nothing but all about the DNA sequencing when we talk regarding. Okay, so for this purpose we require the desired DNA fragment, and on another hand we require the plasmid. So here for this production of the interferons we require the yeast as a plasmid. But as far as the sequencing is concerned of this DNA, desired DNA piece as well as this yeast, so with the help of alcohol dehydrogenase, the mechanism is really going to be useful for the production of the insulin. So what actually the role of this alcohol dehydrogenase is? This alcohol dehydrogenase is an enzyme found primarily in the liver and stomach that converts the ethanol and acetaldehyde toxins, which is then further break down by acetaldehyde dehydrogenase to acetic acid, and which can be converted finally into the CO2, that is carbon dioxide, and the water. So after all, the as far as the DNA sequencing is concerned, with the help of DNA fragment, desired piece of DNA fragment and the yeast, will get here the recombinant DNA. Okay, so at initial level we had seen the principle of recombinant DNA technology, wherein the desired piece of DNA has ligated with the desired piece of plasmids with the help of DNA ligase. So at last you will get the recombinant DNA. So that only the mechanism here we have to see. So here the recombinant DNA is ready, so we have to transport this recombinant DNA into the yeast cell of the Saccharomyces cerevisiae, wherein in this mechanism the protein expression has to take place as far as the E. coli is concerned. So it will deliberately form its own way as far as the slow growth of the different types of cell and the cell debris are concerned. Okay, so apart from that, so the plasmids which grows and replicate into the glycoprotein, and at last you will get the interferons here. So next is your somatotropin, which is also called as the human growth hormone, that is HGH, which promotes overall body growth by increasing amino acids uptake by cells, protein synthesis and fat utilization for energy. Dwarfism caused by the insufficient production of HGH by the pituitary gland, growth retardation, that is which encompasses the chubby face, then baby fat around the waist, unusual body properties as in the adult, then IQ level may be normal. HGH can treat the dwarfism to help the undesired children which reach their normal height and size. Okay, so as far as the HGH is concerned, which has been produced with the help of two methods, that is old method and new method. Old method, which consists of the purification of HGH from the cadaver pituitary gland, and another method is your new method, which consists of two types, that is gene production for the HGH synthesis. There are the two types, that is protropin, that is nothing but which has produced by the Genentech, and another example of these HGH is Humatrop, which has produced by the a well-known multinational industry, pharma industry, that is Eli Lilly. Okay, so basically the somatotropin has secreted by the anterior lobe of pituitary glands, which consist of 191 amino acids residue, which having the molecular weight around 22,000 daltons, which has secreted secretion regulated by the somatostatin and the growth hormone releasing hormone produced by the hypothalamus. And GHRH deficiency is it leads to the dwarfisms there in the children. As far as the production of somatotropin is concerned, here with the help of recombinant DNA technology, here we are able to see the oligodeoxynucleotide is there on another hand, and on another hand we have to take the human pituitary gland. So first of all we'll see the left hand side what exactly it is. So it is a fragment which has been cut with the help of restriction endonucleases in the three distinct DNA fragment. Okay, so these three distinct DNA fragment which will have to combine together with the help of DNA ligase at so afterward we'll get the ATG GH which consists of 1 to 24 amino acids. On another hand, whatever the extract we have taken from the human pituitary glands, we'll have to extract the mRNA. So mRNA eventually expose it for the different types of the enzyme treatment. First of all, the reverse transcriptase we have to take, and for the cutting purpose we'll have to take the restriction endonucleases. Okay, so at another hand we have the 20 to 191 amino acids. So on another hand we have the 1 to 24, on another hand we have the 20 to 191 amino acids. Okay, so these are the respective segments of the genes now we have prepared. So this is nothing but what we can call as a synthetic DNA. So this segment of gene which is obtained from the oligodeoxynucleotide and one segment which is obtained from the human pituitary gland will have to fuse together with the help of ligation mechanism. So here DNA ligase is the enzyme of choice by which the ligation has been possible. So here we are with the help of ligation, these two segments of the gene are fixed together, that is combined together, and will get the complete coding sequences last from 1 to 191. So we have fused together. So you were able to see the two ends here after binding of the segment A and segment B in the form of sticky end and the blunt end. So at last this is nothing but your two-way chain of segment A and segment B. You will get the complete coding sequence of the fragment here. So at another hand we have the plasmid, that is PBR322 plasmid, which having the site the lac operon. So with the help of these PBR322 plasmid, with the help of DNA ligase, this DNA segment, that is complete coding sequence, which have to merge with respect to the PBR322 plasmids, which has been cut with the help of restriction endonucleases here. So these coding sequences along with this PBR322 plasmid, that is which acts as an vector, which combine together by means of the DNA ligase, that mechanism is called as ligation. So after all you will get the recombinant plasmid. Okay, so recombinant plasmid here we are able to see here. So recombinant DNA has prepared, or you can say the recombinant plasmid too. So expression will have to transfer into the appropriate host cell, that is E. coli. So expression takes place here. After expression takes place, after all we have to expose it once again for the fermentation technique. So after fermentation, after purification, after downstream processing or upward stream processing, will get the somatotropin, but not yet the somatotropin is pure. Okay, so for that purpose we'll have to, for the purification purpose, we'll have to expose for the purification purpose to exclude or to remove the residue, that is methionine residue at amino terminus. So after purification you will get the somatotropin. As far as somatostatin is concerned, here it is not there in your syllabus, but still we'll going to emphasize on the somatostatin as a hormone. Okay, so basically it is synthesized in the hypothalamus, which really control to control the release of several hormones from the pituitary gland. As far as mechanism of action of these somatostatin is concerned, it inhibits the secretion of insulin, glycogen and growth hormones, and first 14 residue polypeptide hormone prepared in the bacterial cells. Okay, so this is nothing but the simple production of somatostatin by recombinant DNA technology. Here we have to take at initial level the 8 single stranded DNA. With the help of annealing mechanism, the somatostatin gene or the double stranded synthetic gene has produced. So that is nothing but oligonucleotide gene, which consists of 52 base pair. On another hand, we have the vector, that is plasmid vector PBR322, which consists of the expression vector site, that is beta galactosidase gene. Then another site is control gene, another side is lacoperon. So this is all about the vector. So on another hand we do have the oligonucleotide gene, on another hand we do have the plasmid vector PBR322. So with the help of somatostatin gene we do have the recombinant DNA PBR322. So after transformation into the Escherichia coli, the recombinant DNA or the plasmid has prepared. Okay, so recombinant plasmid has prepared. After preparation of these recombinant DNA or the plasmids, we have incorporated into the proper host cell for the fermentation purpose. So isolated fused protein containing amino terminal segments of beta galactosidase fragment joined by the methionine group to the somatostatin. So after purifications which has been done with the help of cyanobromide, somatostatin hormone has prepared. Apart from the somatostatin you will get the beta galactosidase fragment. So after all you will get the somatostatin. So biotech product and its discovery, which has been really based upon the protein separation technique, contaminants and the purity requirements of the product. Purification and storage and the analysis are concerned, the appropriate protocol and the methods is designed by the considering the presence of probable protein and other contaminants into the product. So apart from that, the stability profile of the product is also important. Ionic strength will have to identify, molecular weight, then surface property will have to identify, or the trim, optimum temperature will have to maintain, appropriate pH range is selected, then freeze thaw stability and electrophoretic mobility. So these are nothing but the different types of the standardization techniques, different types of the analysis, different types of the determination techniques will have to implement as far as the appropriate production of these biologically derived products are concerned, that is your human insulin, then interferons, then somatotropin and somatostatin as well. Okay, so hope you understand these all aspect related with the biologically derived product. It is there in your syllabus. So thank you very much students, thank you all.